Hi everyone, welcome back to WGAB, the GabCast. This week we are staring down the front of the storm, but before we do, we're looking ahead past the storm because we are optimistic. I am Kathy Celestri, the owner and publisher and editor and all the things of the Gabber newspaper. This, of course, is a Gabber newspaper production, and this week, even though as we are taping in our studios live from Gulfport, Florida, except it's not live, sorry. As we are taping in our studios in Gulfport, Florida, people are making hurricane preparations all around us. But here at the Gabber, while we will be with you through the storm, we are looking ahead to past the hurricane or tropical storm. And we have with us Gulfport Brewery and Eatery. We have one of the owners, Paige Valensky, and the master chef, executive chef, person who makes these delicious little fried rice things that make me see Jesus, Sierra, because this weekend they are having Octoberfest. Now, those of you in the beer understand that Octoberfest is not in October, it is in September. So they're going to do it this weekend, and they brought us their special brew. Oh, it's a lovely pour, Paige. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yours was a good pour. Mine has been sitting for a minute or two. Sure. So this
Wait a minute, this is delicious. What is it?
Ooh, so this is this year's fest beer. We used Pilsner malt, Vienna, and Munich, and a little bit of honey malt. The hops are going to be very gentle, a bit of nugget for bittering, and a lot of Hallertau Hersbrucker for flavor and aroma. And
sounds authentic.
Right. And this beer gives light notes of herbs and citrus.
This is a delicious beer.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Don't
I just cheers the microphone.
You cheers everybody. Paige loves the Gulfport community. So no, this is really lovely.
Yep.
Now your beers, aside from your sours, are gluten reduced.
Yes, they are gluten reduced.
But they taste like real beer.
Oh yeah. So all it is, it's called Brewer's Clarex, and it's just it breaks down the gluten enzymes into easier to digest particles. So if you are feeling like maybe you're sensitive to gluten, that kind of thing, you are fine. Our brewer, Jason Toft, is incredible. His dad is actually, he can't have gluten. And so that's where Jason did that research. And
God bless Jason's dad.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Jason will say if you have celiacs, he told me to stop telling people who have celiacs that they could drink our beer because we do not send it to a lab. So there could be traces. So I do like to give that little bit of disclaimer.
I'm a celiac, and I clearly don't speak for all celiacs, but I will tell you that I've been drinking this beer very well for a very long time, and I don't get sick, but I also have a gluten digest enzyme my doctor told me to take anytime you eat out because there could be traces. Yes. But I don't want to focus on gluten because this beer doesn't taste. In an article I wrote for another publication once, described a commercially brewed gluten-free beer as tasting like drowning kittens.
It does.
And that's a perfect description of it. And there are these guys who have a gluten podcast, I forget what it's called, and they talked about me on it. They're like, she needs help. And I'm like, no, it's just been too long since you've had real beer, and your beer tastes like real beer.
Yes. CUNY Brewing also does the gluten reduced.
Yeah, but you're right here in Gulfport.
But we are in Gulfport.
We like to drink local. So can we get this ahead of the storm?
So no. It will be... Maybe. This is where there's a lot of uncertainty right now. It feels very throwback to 2020 with that word.
This is an uncertain here we are. Girl.
As long as you don't say supply chain issues.
No. Although if deliveries don't come. Nope. Anyway, so the plan is this beer will be delivered tomorrow morning. I don't know if our head brewer will be letting it be tapped tomorrow.
So how did we get this? Do you know the owner?
Because we're special.
You know who else is special? Sierra.
Oh, yeah.
So we can't drink beer without food because that is not alcoholically responsible. So we asked Sierra if she could bring something for us to pair this with. And it is one of my favorite things. I mean, your specials are always great. Your salads are amazing. But can you talk a little bit about why you have a big old coffee can here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's more of like the experience, people really like to eat with their eyes and really enjoy the food like through their eyes. So like the first thing that you really want to see is something like, amazing. So right here is the tin can, which we build like upside down. So when you do actually flip it over, it's just like a mountain of beautiful, cheesy, beany rice goodness.
Do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
You can absolutely go for it if you like.
Are you qualified to do this?
I am qualified.
This is Sierra's
this.
baby. This is.
Yeah, I build it. They dump it.
I was just gonna say
Oh,
I
that's
probably
true.
dumped more of
Yeah.
these than she has.
So as you see, as the table would see, it starts from just a can, and then you lift it up, little bangy bang. Wow!
Oh.
Look at
Is that chicken?
It's a little
Yeah, we got
chicken
the
in
grilled
there.
And jalapenos?
Jalapenos.
Jalapenos.
Pickled onions.
Okay,
Of
so nobody
course.
can smell this, but you can smell the black beans. The frijoles negros are, I mean, it's just incredible.
Drizzle it in that chimichurri sauce, and there is honestly nothing better.
So how did you come up with this for the menu? Did you come up with this, or did somebody else come up with this? I mean, this looks like, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I want to say it. It's 420 nachos. Like, if you're high, do you get a lot of calls at like 3 a.m. like, Sarah, you got to bring me these nachos?
Ma'am, that's a personal thing, but yes. We do.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the nachos.
Yes. They are loaded with absolute deliciousness. It is incredible. It's definitely a sight to see, too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever one gets ordered, then
It's
I
like
know
the
there's gonna be like 10 more.
It's
in
like the
next hour.
fajitas and chilies, when you're sitting there and you see like the fajitas just going crazy.
I would
see it just
encourage
like the
you not
nachos.
to describe yourself as similar to Chili's.
It's just the want, and you see the sizzling. It's amazing.
Okay, well, so one of the things, I know we're talking about Oktoberfest, but since we have food, and I'm just eating to be polite. I don't want anybody to feel bad.
Just to be polite.
I'm just here to support the business. I feel like an asshole saying this, but I didn't eat at the brewery when you first opened because I didn't realize the food was good.
Well,
Because some breweries are not so great on the food, but the food here is, and this is just a disaster of
Amazing.
marijuana and alcohol and late nights that you want at noon. But you have other stuff like I tell people the best salads in Gulfport are at Gulfport Brewery.
Thank you. We really strive on being the best, on being the freshest too. Like fresh lettuce we cut daily. It's just really about the flavor and how fresh everything is, really.
Yeah.
Cooking everything either daily or every other day really makes a difference on the quality of the food, and also the love that gets put into the food makes it a lot better too.
Sorry, I'm chewing.
No, it's okay.
So obviously you
amazing
can't be there
sound.
every day. You can't be there every day, so it's a whole team of people.
Yeah. I have a
sorry.
great team behind me that I'm very thankful for.
So do you have any specials for Oktoberfest this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. They might not be gluten reduced, but they are going to be absolutely delicious. I do have Jager Schnitzel coming out, which is a pounded pork that is breaded with breadcrumbs and paired with a mushroom gravy, which is made with a red wine. I also have brats and sauerkraut, which will be topped with our homemade IPA mustard. Shout out to Freddie. We also have a gigantic pretzels that nobody will probably know what to do with, but that's also okay.
bigger than your head.
Yeah, I have way bigger than my head, and I got a pretty big head, I got to come up with all this thinking for specials. But what else do we have? Oh, we have currywurst, which is like very authentic, German food. It's going to be 2 different bratwurst with a curry sauce, which is a tomato-based sauce with curry in it. Serve with french fries, also tossed in a curry sauce. And
I'm sorry, did you say tots in a curry sauce?
Tossed.
Tossed.
Tossed. I was
Yeah.
thinking tater tots with curry, and I got very excited.
No,
briefly.
we gotta step out of our realm a little bit, even though we do have the best tater tots in Gulfport, maybe even Florida. But yeah,
So how do you come up with the specials?
we going back to the 420 nacho thing? Or
I was
what are
hoping.
we doing? What are we doing there? Did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't do it.
Okay.
The shoe people do it. But there was this one company, Aerosols, and they always had names like Butter Up or File Love It, and they were stupid. So we're at this educational product training seminar, and one of the women I worked with goes to the aerosol rep. She's like, so how do you come up with your names? Are you just like high all the time? Do you smoke a lot of weed? And I kind of want to ask you that, like, how do you come up with these specials? Do you just
Seems very
get-
accusatory,
Right.
No,
I mean,
it's
excuse me, but
It's admirable because if I
Since
get
we're
high, I
here.
can't do anything. So if
Yeah.
you can come up with this after you have like an edible, props. I mean, it's incredible.
I feel like people really focus on like trying to hit every single, maybe, like age group or whatever, and I feel like people really like try to pinpoint that, and really sometimes you're going to fail at it. You can't just pinpoint one age group because really it's for everybody, so I feel like we kind of just do our own thing and say the most crazy things that we possibly can, and people get like latched onto it. People see the name before they see the food, and they're like, well, yeah, like the megalodon, the parmesan, like come on, like that's incredible. People get hooked by the name before they even read the description. And I feel like people are just focused on like one generation, and that's not fair. Like we got to be here for all of us,
Right, but you're not trendy. I mean, the megalodon, you're
Oh, I'm trendy.
No, I mean, I don't mean it that way. My God, I am so good at interviews.
We basically
I
come.
mean, you're not trying to like cater to being like, oh, I'm chip. You're just doing good
No.
food and coming up with great ways of presenting it.
Right, and the right people will catch on, and honestly, the wrong people, we have a couple every once in a while that don't like what we do.
How does that go?
It's fine. We're not for everybody, and that's absolutely okay. But we're better for a lot of people than we are worse for a lot, and that's okay with me.
Yep.
What do people not like about this?
Gluten,
There's no gluten in this.
which isn't a bad thing, but it's like vegan, vegetarian. We're in a really big area that's like vegan and vegetarian and stuff like that. We have a lot of places around us that really focus on that, and that's okay. But you're focusing on one specific like subject, and that's okay. But it really comes down to like the vegans and vegetarians, which I'm not mad about at all. Do your thing, but people get mad at us about those things. And
I mean, there's options for vegetarians at brewery,
Yeah,
not vegans.
yeah.
There's some vegan stuff, isn't there?
yeah, there
we have
is.
vegan hot dogs, and
Right.
we are, and like our boiled peanuts are vegan, but we're that is one of our things that we do plan on expanding a little bit in the near future, is adding more like vegetarian.
Feel
vegan.
free to come back on the podcast
Yep.
and bring these nachos and talk about those other things.
Yeah.
You've got it.
So good. I haven't had these in months, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Octoberfest, which is why
That's
you're here.
okay. Yeah, the biggest thing is just like we have the Golden Dinosaurs across the street, and they do excellent vegan food, and we're very big on like stay in your lane type thing. So, I'm not going to overstep and try to, do a bunch of vegan friendly dishes.
Right. Or do dishes that are around the town that everybody else does. Like, that's just something that we shouldn't focus on, or the other business should not focus on.
We just try to be different.
I mean, I think there's enough here that people can.
You
No,
can
there's
have
enough-
that completely
Absolutely.
vegetarian, just not vegan,
Why would you? I mean,
Right.
okay.
Don't, if it's perfect, don't.
It's fine. I'm good.
If
I
it's
had
not
to give
broke,
up
don't
gluten.
fix
Don't
it.
make me give up anything else.
No.
So we've got the specials, the curry, the other worst that I can't reproduce, all that stuff. Do you have any
It's-
live music or anything this weekend? Anything special?
Yeah. So we have the German band that was with us last year. They go by the name of the Romantics. And
So
they,
German.
Yeah, I know. They're it is great authentic polka music, and they'll be playing from 12 to 5 at the brewery. You'll have the accordions out there.
There's no better band to get the crowd hyped than that band.
They
at all.
are awesome.
They're amazing.
They
They
are
really
really
are.
awesome. We're going to be tapping a firkin at 11 a.m. with
I'm sorry, what's a firkin?
So the firkin is going to be like a traditional German cask.
Okay, that was not where my head went.
No, yeah. So we'll be tapping the firkin with a special guest at 11
It's
a.m.
not
on
me,
Saturday.
So don't get excited.
Yes, with a special guest. And we are going to be opening an hour early. We'll be open at 11 instead of noon on Saturday.
So how does the hurricane or potential hurricane affect any of these plans?
So beer is coming a day early. We are
Not nervous at all.
not nervous at all. We're definitely a
We're all
little
good.
nervous. Typically, Sierra's got those German specials ready to go Friday morning. There is a good chance that our specials are going to be a Saturday only.
Yeah,
thing
no,
this weekend.
there's no chance that's when it's going to be ready. So be ready
So
Saturday.
our staff is probably going to have some people off Thursday, and Sierra already texted out, hey, anyone who's been wanting more hours, anyone who's going to be off Thursday,
I might even
be
invite
ready
my
to
mom to
go
come
at 8 a.m.
to
on
come help
Friday
me.
morning.
You hear that, Mom? She needs you.
Yeah.
Can I refill? Because
Yes, absolutely.
This is a really good beer.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, so it's going to be really fun, though. The Wine House, which is our wine bar just 2 doors down, former Backfin Blue building, we're going to have some German wines, and we're also going to have some smoked German food specials there.
Oh, the turkey legs. I'm
We're
looking
going to do
forward
turkey
to.
legs.
Are you gonna do the big ones like at Disney,
Yeah.
like the ones that are the
We're
human-sized
talking
legs?
about turkey legs, not drumsticks, okay? Like, we're talking...
The whole leg?
Oh, the
Yeah.
whole leg.
I'm more of a butt man.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's the nachos are making me act wild as shit.
Not the beer.
Oh, the beer's fine. This is good. Well, you'll still have this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah, our full menu will still be going. And then Sierra is actually going to be... We'll have the kegerator that's at the corner of 30th and Beach.
Oh,
will
that's where you
be-
have the dog beer.
Yes. And
It's water, y'all. If you haven't been here, it's just water. It's a pan of water for
Hydration
dogs.
for all.
the kegerator will be pouring Octoberfest beer there, as well as some other German styles like our Hefeweizen will be out there.
We'll also have Freddie on.
And Unsteady Freddy IPA, which
We'll
is
have
one of the
canned
most popular.
options like seltzers, ciders, and stuff like that also.
And then Sierra will be making. What are you making? Out
I
there?
will. We'll do some brats and some sauerkraut out there. A little German potato salad might be a little family secret, but yeah, it'll
Little
be
grab
out there.
and go.
Is
Yeah.
it secret people?
Huh? It's just me.
Oh, I thought it was like Soylent Green. Like
No.
the family secret is people.
No.
Sorry, it's fine. I'm giddy from nachos. So, well, thank you for being here. I will see you this weekend because
Yeah.
all my plans have been canceled because of the damn storm. We're gonna have I'm sorry, this is so good. we're gonna have our news editor come on, help me finish these nachos.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the hurricane that will happen well before your
Yes.
wonderful Octoberfest, Saturday, September 28th. What time does it start?
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Yep.
Get your morning beer.
Oh,
Get
so
your
important.
lederhosens and dirndls
I was just
ready.
gonna say,
Yep.
costumes highly encouraged.
Yep.
But you'll still feed us, right? You'll still
yeah.
take our money.
Costumes, we have a stein holding competition. So follow us on social media. We'll put a schedule. We'll have a stein holding competition. We have the beer puppeteers, which if you haven't seen that,
That's
is
a
a
hoot.
riot.
I'm sorry,
Oh
I'm sorry,
my
what?
gosh, beer
what?
puppeteers. So it's this big old setup, and you got a beer dangling in front of your head, and you got to do like a pulley system to get the beer to
Just
your
like
face.
a puppeteer, yep. You gotta
I have
lean
I
back.
have a great video of Sierra doing it.
You might want to bring a trash bag if you
Or
are
a rain
dressed in
jacket.
costume,
Yes.
for sure. Especially white, even though it might be fun to see. But wear white.
Yep.
Don't wear white.
Rain gear.
The Oktoberfest wet beer beer t-shirt contest.
That's it. I mean, honestly, best 2 for 1, right?
I mean, it's a win for everybody. I think this might be my favorite episode of the podcast because there's beer, there's naked people, we're all high, and there's this massive plate of nachos. Like, I love this. Can you come back every
What
week?
about me? You forgot Sierra. Like, I'm here.
The nachos, the beer, the naked lady?
That's-
That's right. Go to Gulfport Brewery this weekend. Sierra will be naked. What? No, that's
I
not.
mean, honestly, I wouldn't.
What happens at Oktoberfest
Oktoberfest
stays at Oktoberfest.
Too much. How did I get stuck in the middle?
You asked.
Well, you could be naked too, Paige. It's totally cool.
I'm good.
Wet t-shirt contest.
Whatever.
You know,
Somebody doesn't care enough about making money for her business.
I'll be out there. Don't you worry.
We'll come for the potato salad.
That's
We'll
what they
stay
call
for the
it.
beer t-shirt contest.
Yeah.
There you go.
Seriously, we're kidding. Nobody's probably going to be naked, right?
I mean, after like
Probably.
8 p.m., you really have no idea what's gonna happen after.
I've been to Gulfport. I've been around the Gulfport
Right.
block.
So you might want to let these people know that it's a possibility.
It's a possibility, y'all.
Never be surprised.
Never.
Don't ever change Gulfport. We love you.
Keep it weird, people.
We're just going to keep it nacho.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to turn the tables. We're going to shoot away for a quick break. They're going to magically not be here. Patrick will magically be here. He will help me eat these nachos. He will drink a beer. And we will talk about a more serious topic, I promise.
Stay safe, everyone.
We'll be right back, and we'll see you Saturday at Oktoberfest at Gulfport Brewery. All right, and we're back. And if you hadn't noticed, the tin can 420 nacho pile is steadily decreasing. We have some continuity issues. We did take a break. We ate the shit out of that, which is the technical term, not the news term. Now we're going to be newsy.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, like you were talking about earlier, we got a storm on the way.
So this is maybe a part of the reason this podcast has felt a little fun, is like this pressure valve thing that happens when we are in the cone and things look unpleasant. Like, I'm the first person, Patrick, who is like, don't panic, weather terrorists, everybody relax. But also, it's a little unnerving. Like right now, we're taping this after the 2:00 update. The storm is a little slower than it was when we woke up this morning. Slow is never good for a hurricane. The longer it spends out over the water, the more chance it has to get a little more robust. And that sounds more positive than it is. So we're all pretty sure that Thursday at some point there's going to be high water in Gulfport. And it's a little stressful, so we get a little kooky. But let's talk a little bit about actual hurricane preparation. So you've been writing updates all day. You and I will be writing updates about here's where you get sandbags, call center open. If Pinellas opens an evacuation center, if they issue an evacuation order and the school's open, we'll be posting about that. Mm-hmm. We know, you and I know, that for the next 24 to 48 hours, our lives are going to be live and die by what Pinellas County Emergency Management and NOAA says.
I'm just going to keep my laptop on my email and just keep
super
refreshing
fun,
it.
super duper fun. And actually, what I like about it is we all. I had this conversation with somebody at another news organization today. I'm like, we don't forecast. We do not forecast. Mm-hmm.
We're not meteorologists. I don't know anything
We are
about
not meteorologists.
Happening.
And for what it's worth, most of the weather people on TV don't have access to what NOAA, the National Hurricane Center, has access to. So we always say, every post we make online, it defaults to, hey, go to hurricanes.gov for forecasting products. However, if you want to know, are you being evacuated? Where can I get sandbags after the storm? You know, who has air conditioning? What public buildings can I go to? Where is it safe to go? That's what we do. We do local stuff really well.
I did that. I didn't know I was in a flood zone until I checked our own article today.
You wrote the article.
I know, and then I had to go back and check if I was in a flood zone because I didn't know, and I am. And that's why we're going to be having a hurricane party at Kathy's house.
We are very much.
You're all invited.
You are all invited to the hurricane party / evacuation party to to Kathy's house. Yeah, no, I mean, because here's the thing. I talked to the mayor of Gulfport today, Sam Henderson, and he's in the thick of it. Like, he's doing a lot of stuff for his own family, and also for the city. The city has a YouTube where he says stuff and talks about.
They have a lot of PSAs.
The city of Gulfport does a really good job about communicating. You just need to know to reach out to them.
I called Justin Shea earlier, and he sounded like he was jumping in his car and driving around and
He's
putting
incredible.
out stuff.
No, they're really incredible. They want people to stay safe. And so Sam was unfortunately able to be here today. We did try and tempt him with beer, but he's a public official and, all serious. And I said, well, what's it? He says, well, my message is twofold. One, don't be complacent. And I want to focus on that for a minute. So I am the first one who's like, look, don't evacuate unless you're told to evacuate. Let's not all freak out. Let's not panic buy all the toilet paper. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. I went to the grocery store today because I knew when I was done today, if I tried to go to the grocery store, there'd be like one piece of fruit and like a loaf of bread that was expired a week ago. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go now. And honestly, I'm just going now because I don't want to deal with trying to buy groceries after the storm passed and everybody's panic bought stuff. Don't buy a whole bunch of stuff you don't think you're going to need. Be sensible. I'm always the first one. Like, these things change. Just because right now it looks like it's going to go this way, it could turn. We know this. But I do agree with Mayor Sam Henderson. Don't be complacent. Don't be like this ant and the grasshopper scenario where you're like, I'm just going to play the fiddle all day and it'll be great. And if the storm comes, I'll just depend on other people to save me, because that's the thing. Once the area gets evacuated, if you're in an evacuation zone and you don't want to evacuate, that's 100% fine. Do not evacuate. But no, if you have a heart attack, if a tree falls on you, if your wife gets pissed at you and cuts off your foot, and you're in an evacuation zone that has been evacuated, 911 is not coming to save your ass because first responders are not obligated to put themselves in harm's way during a natural disaster. And they won't. And they shouldn't, right? Like they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So we don't evacuate. My husband and I do not evacuate. We're in a D zone. We have a house that is pretty much a fortress. There's probably some weak points. I don't want to say it's perfect because that's the way you get decimated in a hurricane. But we know when we don't evacuate, we are assuming a risk. We know that if we are evacuated and we choose not to, and we have a medical issue, if something happens, we're on our own. We are okay with that. We will never expect 911 to come save our asses if they've been, clear about evacuating. So don't be complacent. If you're going to stay, know that you're going to stay, know what that means, and then also have a plan. But if you're going to go, decide to go early. If you think you might evacuate, as soon as the county says, hey, mandatory evacuations for Zone A, if you live in Zone A and you think you might evacuate, don't wait. Don't wait. The roads are going to suck. Know where you're going. If you have a pet and you want to go to a shelter that accepts pets, know that you should have pre-registered for that. You cannot just show up with your puppy and be like, oh, this is a pet-friendly shelter. They'll be like, dude, you had to register. And also, you have to keep your dog in a cage the whole time. Red Roof Inns, pet-friendly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a myth out there that all hotels have to accept pets when there's a hurricane. That is not true. Like, know where you're going. Have a plan. Don't be complacent. If you're going to go, go early. If you're not going to go, accept the risks.
Yeah, the first time I had to evacuate, I had to evacuate from Eckerd, and they told us like 2 days before that we had to leave. So we scrambled to find a hotel. We had to go up to the villages, and we fit 7 people in a two queen bed room because it was the last thing they had available.
That sounds super comfortable.
It was, and we were there for like 6 days or something. It was bad. It was really bad, and it's like we could have avoided that if we knew 3 days earlier.
Well, yeah, but there's also the criticism, like you don't want to tell people to evacuate too early. Like
Yeah.
we get into this situation where we have guidance that suggests maybe the storm is going to get here. And so they tell you 5 days in advance and the storm turns. Mm-hmm. Maybe one time you're okay with that, but the second, third, or fourth time, you get, as the mayor says, you get complacent.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're like, well, screw it, I'm not going. It's never been right before, and that's when it gets you.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's exactly what we saw, but we saw something similar with Debbie recently where everybody looked at it as just a tropical storm. And it dealt a lot of damage because people were like, oh, I've sat through Category 3 hurricanes and it's never been a problem. And then if you don't treat like everything as a new situation and weigh the options and figure out what's going on and listen to what people are saying, then you're going to get caught in a place that you haven't been.
Right. So, and then that's the problem. Like, that's the rub. Like, how do you, like, right now we're 36 hours away from potential wind arrivals. Mm-hmm. Now is not the time to think about, well, how do I make a house safer? How do I have this place to go? Like, right now, if you don't already know those things, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever happens.
Yeah.
Which is not fair because you were a college student, right? When that happened,
Yeah.
You were living on campus. You were not from here. You were from like
Didn't
Illinois.
have a lot of money. Yeah.
Not a lot of tropical weather in Illinois.
No, we get some tornadoes, but that's it.
Not the same.
No, they're stronger.
But they're fast.
Yeah.
Like, the best quote I ever heard about a hurricane was like, waiting for a hurricane is like being stalked by a turtle. Because you're waiting and you know it's coming, but you've got to wait and wait and wait. So, the time is not now to think about, well, maybe I should have gotten stormproof roofs or stormproof windows. Maybe I should have gotten shutters. No. If your house is not going to survive, don't risk it. It's not worth it. But wait until we're told to go.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit because places everywhere throughout Pinellas County, you can get sandbags. And no, but
get me started on the
that's what I mean.
Sandbags.
Is there are ways that you can make your house safer in advance, or things that you can do in building your house, or something. But sandbags occasionally can do some help. in general, if you're going tomorrow night to go get sandbags and just putting them in front of your door,
you're screwed.
Nothing is going to happen.
Sandbags do not help with storm surge. Mm-hmm. Sandbags help when There is some minor flooding from heavy rain. When there is a 5 to 8 foot storm surge, please don't take the goddamn sandbags. They're not going to help you. You're going to spend a lot of time. You're going to put a lot of staff members out. You're going to do these things, and they're not going to work. Sam, I respect that. I'm sorry. I respect the hell out of Treasure Island because they don't do sandbags. Like, everybody up and down Pinellas County is like, here's where you can pick up sandbags. And Treasure Island is very proudly like, not here. They don't work. And I'm like, wow, that's bold. And they explained why they don't work. They're like, this is not what you do during a hurricane. You don't do this.
Yeah.
Like,
with all that pushing water, it's just going to go straight through it. It's just going to go right through where it needs to get to.
It's just going to go right through. Water goes where it wants to go. So talking about Debbie, I want to go back to the second message from Mayor Sam Henderson, and that was, please move your boat. So if you are in the marina, that's one thing. But if you're on the mooring field, that's another. If you are anchored in Boca Ciega Bay, somebody died during Debbie, and that was a tropical storm. There are options for you. I have no idea how many of the boating community lives with us, and I don't want to victim shame anybody who died because that was horrible. But, and I feel like we need to say this enough, move your boat. You can find a marina to hole up in. You can find safe places to go. If you call the Gulfport police, they will tell you where to move your boat if you call the marina. Some places are free, some places are not. You can go up into town shores. I can say it because I'm not a cop and I'm not a city official. Go into the town shores marina. Don't take a slip, but anchor up in there. By the time they get somebody out to tell you to move, the storm will be over and your boat will be safe. And you'll be alive. I
spoke with Dennis, and he said that, like...
Dennis is the harbor master of the Gulfport Marina.
He said that, like, even the mooring field is, like, in a Cat 3, or just, like, in a serious hurricane or a serious storm, if you could pull your boat out of the water, pull it out of the water. Look, and that changes your odds drastically.
So we have a boat. We have a V-hull dual console power boat that we have on a lift at the Gulfport Marina. And tonight, we are going to move the boat out of the water, which, do we need to? Maybe, maybe not, but we don't even want to deal with that. Like, if you have the option to trailer your boat and get it out of the water, please do it. I know you're hearing all kinds of stuff swirling around from the commercial television stations who are weather terrorists who want to scare you to make you keep tuning in. But seriously, we saw it. We watched. We were on the shore. We were helping them pull their dinghies ashore. Somebody died. Please move your boat. Don't fuck around.
Especially out here in Boca Ciega Bay. If you've ever even just stepped in there, I know a lot of Gulfportians don't go in the water. Well,
your foot goes down about 3 feet.
It sinks. It's a soft, sandy bottom. Your anchor isn't going to hold at all.
No, the anchor's
your
the
anchor
drag
will
anchor.
not hold.
I lost a good pair of Crocs and a tripod in the muck there. I was a kayaking guide, and I stepped out of the kayak, and I went up to my thigh in mud, and I realized that if I didn't pull my foot out of the shoe, I was just stuck there forever. Yeah. But the sand shifts, the muck moves. Please move your boat. Please, please, please don't be a statistic. Please don't make your friends come looking for you. This is so important. I mean, the mayor and I don't agree on everything, which is fine. I'm a journalist. He's the mayor. But we agree on this. Don't be complacent. Please don't stay anchored in Boca Ciega Bay. We're begging you. I don't want to cover your death. I don't want to take pictures of your boat being lifted out by a crane and you've had to sacrifice your boat just to get it off the beach. Please don't do it.
And like you said, I don't want to encourage anybody to do anything that the city doesn't want them to do. But if it's between breaking an ordinance and the life of your life and a boat being washed up on the shore or a boat crashing into the casino dock or something, they'd prefer your life and your safety.
I mean, so if it's
like you said, if it's pulling into town shores, if it's anchoring, Clam Bayou's protected, but they said there are times when you can anchor over there in that area, and it's better, it's safer. You can be safe. Your boat can be safe. Your belongings can be safe, and that's better than risking because you're scared of some sort of enforcement penalty or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I get it too. There's the component is like, well, the government's not going to tell me what to do. Folks, I'm not the government. I am exhausted from taking pictures of people's dreams washed up on the shore. I've only seen one death that was something I hope I never have to repeat. I know it sounds, if you're not in Gulfport, if you don't live in a waterfront community, you've happened upon the podcast, and you're like, why are they hitting this so hard? Because it sucks. Patrick and I know Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, what we're going to have to do, go take the pictures, hear these heartbreaking stories, try and tell the stories to our readers. Don't be a story. Make this the most boring hurricane ever. Please don't be a part of the paper next week. I'm begging you.
We hope all of our photos are just even
Hey, look,
businesses and stuff. Just look at how they
boarded
dealt
up
with the flooding and
yeah,
they did all
it'd be
this.
great.
And
That's
don't swim in standing water.
don't walk in standing
Don't walk
water.
in standing water.
So let's talk about the poop factor after a hurricane.
And stay inside during the storm.
Except for us who will be out there taking pictures.
No, but I mean, like, if it's like 11 at night and we see you on our Gabber cam standing by the casino, we're going to judge you. Like, don't go out there.
We're journalists. We're not supposed to judge.
We judge.
Okay, I don't judge.
I don't judge anybody that...
But please don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Other people will judge you. Look, I watched this community turn on the guy who owned the yellow Kia last year just because they thought he hadn't moved the Kia. They're going to judge you. No, I mean, don't... Standing water. We'll talk about the poop factor. You have a minute for poop?
Always.
All right. So some of those boats in the bay, not all of them. We have a lot of really responsible boaters in Bocasaga Bay. Some of those boats don't move so well. And some people live on those boats, and they use the head in those boats. And they don't have a boat that comes around and pumps out their black water, which is poopy water. That's the technical term, is poopy water. So when those boats have an incident during a storm, sometimes the integrity of the hull and the black water tanks are compromised. So while y'all might think it's a lot of fun to walk through downtown Gulfport with that standing water, you're walking in somebody else's burrito special from 2 nights ago. And it's disgusting. And if you have an open sore, even more so. In addition, if there is a power line down.
Oh, my God.
Right? Like this has happened. Power line down, you're walking through water. You're electrocuted. You're done. You're crispy.
If the water's moving, you don't know if there's a 2x4 with nails in it going
don't
through
know
that
if there's a
water
mail.
either.
Just please don't do it.
Just overall, just stay inside. Just stay
It's
inside.
fine. We've got 5 great webcams. I promise you, they'll show you the most exciting shit you'll ever see. Don't go outside. Nobody's going to listen to us.
Nobody, but
that one person, you, ma'am, thank you. We appreciate you.
In a happy turn, also storm, finally.
Oh my God! At long last.
The storm is coming ashore.
The storm is coming.
Storm runners.
That was
on the corner of Beach Boulevard.
Serendipitous of them. Storm runners on the corner of Beach and Shore. Mm-hmm. Opens tonight is their soft opening. By the time you see this, they'll be hard open.
Yeah.
And they have timed this really well with Helene, which is the tropical storm. We are not really quite at 5 o'clock yet to know what they're calling it.
I feel bad because it's like, sure, they open tomorrow, but like, they're not going to get any business on Thursday.
So can I make an educated guess? They're going to get a shit ton of business tomorrow.
Well, because like we've been down there and seen the Tiki and Neptune's flooded, and it's like, I hope they don't flood on their second day open.
Well, I've been to O'Matty's. Like, the cops will tell me the biggest problem they have with O'Matty's is, like, they'll be driving through town like, man, you got to evacuate. And the guy's standing there. The storm surge is lapping over his ankles. He's like, I got to finish my beer first. I mean...
That's O'Matty's, though.
I mean, I think storm runners, Gulfport...
They have the elevated bar.
Gulfport's 100% going to come out to support storm runners. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is their opening, right? Mm-hmm. So that's Wednesday, September 25th.
Yes.
Earliest likely arrival times of the winds aren't until Thursday. That's a good solid day, man.
And you should support storm runners. Just do it safely. I looked at their menu. It looks great. All of their drinks, they have like your normal classic cocktails, and they have tiki drinks is like their specialty cocktail, and then they have what they're calling, I think it's the Gulfport pouch. It's like a 32-ounce bag, and they won't tell you, they don't have like the what's in it. It's just liquor and juice and fun. And it's like a little bag.
How do you bag fun?
Liquor.
So liquor and juice and liquor. I gotcha.
Their food looks great. A lot of different seafood options and everything from like wings to New York strip steak frites.
I heard some really great things about their crab cakes, so I'm excited. You have to go cover a city commission meeting.
I do.
I am going to close
meeting.
down this podcast, pretend I just didn't eat 2 pounds of nachos and chicken and beans and corn and jalapenos and rice and I don't know, crack, whatever was in that thing. I'm going to go down
420 nachos.
No shit. I'm going to go down to Storm Runners, check them out, get some pictures. You can see those on our Instagram at GabberLife. And you know what? This has been fun. This may be the most fun we have for the next few days.
It's the longest podcast we've had in a while.
It's been a minute. But you know what? We had some good information. Octoberfest, Storm Surge, Storm Runners.
And the storm should be all of the major problems from the storm should be cleared up by this weekend.
No.
So go.
What is wrong with you? Folks, forget he said that. He's jinxing us.
There's no wood.
It's like when you say we're making excellent time as you're driving down the interstate.
It's like when I say I hope the city commission meeting doesn't go long.
Oh my God. All right. Folks, this has been a lot of fun. Go support Storm Runners. Go to Gulfport Brewery to celebrate Octoberfest. Move your boat. Stay out of water. Don't walk through standing water. Watch us on the webcams. Read the Gabber this Thursday. Thank you for watching, listening, and reading. We will see you next time on WGIB, the GabCast.